We now have our next session, Data Center Modernization, the Foundation for Digital Transformation. This session is brought to you by Nutanix, and our keynote speaker is Mr. Bala A. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Bala A, is the Vice President and Managing Director, SAARC and India, Nutanix. Mr. Anantaraman Balakrishnan is the Vice President and Managing Director of Sales for Nutanix India. Mr. Bala brings to Nutanix more than 25 years of IT industry management experience, managing, growing, and leading enterprises. Before joining the company, Mr. Bala was head of Amazon Web Services, financial services, and manufacturing verticals for the large enterprise business in India, where he built the India go-to-market segment and helped grow the business significantly during his tenure. Prior to that, he has worked in senior leadership positions in a variety of organizations like Dell EMC, IBM Global Services, and Sun Microsystems. Mr. Bala has been responsible for driving CXO-level engagements, crafting large complex deals, and building sustainable high-performance teams in his 19 years of experience with several MNCs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Mr. Bala A.
সুপ্রভাত নমস্কার সবাইকে অভিনন্দন জানাই okay by the way Bengali was my third language in my formative years in school in Asansol, so all of you have read Sahaj Path, right? Each version one more difficult than the other until we left it in class 8 saying ar hobe na, now we need to concentrate on Hindi as a second language. And that's how I happen to know Bengali. I happen to understand Bengali, but if you ask me to be fluent, I think we lose fluency as the hairs grow gray. But that still said, I believe it's the most beautiful language, even better than Tamil, which is the language we speak at home. But really happy to be present in Kolkata out here. Infocom Khalida, I've known him since 2001 when I was in Sun Microsystems. So happy to be associated with this event. So just so that you know, it's a very tough act to follow. If Rick Vera spoke for an hour speaking about customer centricity, I could almost believe that we were doing a few things what he was saying, which is put the customer at the center of everything we do. We have the most exciting technology. Just to let you know, Nutanix was formed in 2009 by a gentleman called Dheeraj Pandey, an IIT Kanpur alumni. He joined somebody from Google, built a distributed file system and said that if the Facebooks and the Googles of the world are building a customer experience great, why can't we do it for the customers in the data center? And that's how this idea was born. That's how this idea of Nutanix was born. We shipped our first appliance in 2012. And in 2016, we went IPO. Today, we are a $1.5 billion company in 7 years. 7 years since our appliance was shipped. But in 7 years, it's software revenue. We do not count hardware revenue. So we have made a shift from hardware to software, and now we are also making the move to being a subscription company. So we are exactly right in the middle of where our customers are, which is on the journey to the hybrid cloud. So most importantly, just understand that if we were counting our hardware revenues, we would probably be a $5 to $6 billion company in 7 years. $5 to $6 billion company. So that makes us pretty exciting. And as Rick said, right, that if you forget to put your customers and just have the functionality and the cool things, it does not mean that you get adopted. And that's what we did. We broke down walls of silos in the data center. We broke down the server plus compute plus network plus storage, all of that separately and said, why can't it all be in one piece? And that's the premise of what we are saying is data center modernization. So what do we do? And how many people really know what is HCI? Hyper-converged infrastructure. How many of you actually know what is HCI? Thanks a lot, sir. You saved this thing. There is one person who knows it out here. So great. So what we do is HCI, but we do a lot beyond HCI. So how many of you know that we actually can help run customers their IoT solutions? We can help customers build their private cloud as a step towards modernizing your data center, as a step towards automating your data center, and moving towards the hybrid cloud. We do remote offices very well. Walmart uses us for all their remote offices, all their depots in the US. And all of it managed with a single framework of management. I don't say PAIN because PAIN has a PAIN spelling and PAIN has a PANE spelling. We do it with a single pane of management and we remove the customer pain. That's what we do. So we are used by a lot of Fortune 500 corporations. If you want disaster recovery from us, we can help you build a disaster recovery in seconds. So just to give you an example, if a bank wanted to move 4,700 VMs, given the small downtimes that they give us, right, which is on a Sunday morning at 2 o'clock to 2:30 in the morning, over a month we moved 4,700 VMs for the bank, production VMs. If a bank wants to run remittances in India is huge. This bank does $50 million of remittances every week. So if you count it over a year, that's $2.5 billion. That workload is on Nutanix. If a bank wants to run its enterprise service bus, they choose Nutanix. So we are not running peripheral workloads in the data center. We are running mission critical workloads for enterprise customers like banks, bang in the middle of what they do as a business. So we do all of this. If you want to still move to the public cloud, we can help you move to the public cloud. Which public cloud you want to go to, that's your choice. So the openness which we have in terms of our modernization extends to the public cloud as well. You want to run AWS, you want to move to AWS, you want to move to GCP, you want to move to Azure, use us, we'll be able to help you move there. So what do? We essentially have consolidated all of what you have as silos in the data center, a whole lot of storage, a whole lot of compute, a whole lot of virtualization which you do, a whole lot of networking which you do. And then what we have done is we have put an application orchestration on top of it. One of India's largest SIs runs our software as a self-service portal for launching applications. So if their development teams want to launch applications, their user teams want to launch applications, they use what we call as our cloud application lifecycle management layer. We call it CALM. It's indeed a very calm piece of software, very simple to use, very intuitive, user-friendly, absolutely centered on customer design. It's entirely based on UX. So all of that, and when you wrap around multi-cloud management, which means your workload should be able to run on AWS or Google or Azure, that's where we come right in the center of all of that. So that's our journey. We help you modernize the data center, we help you automate the data center, and then we help you move your apps. And app mobility becomes extremely important as we negotiate this multi-cloud world. And then we also help you with cloud interoperability. So use us to remember for these 4 things: data center modernization, automation, app mobility, cloud interoperability. If you want to do any of these, please get in touch with us. We have folks in Calcutta who can help you actually get there. So what is HCI? For people who really don't know what is HCI, we have just broken it down into two pieces. We have a data plane which takes care of all the infrastructure and the hardware resources and the virtualization. And then we have one management plane which allows you to simply use everything. Rick spoke about customer centricity. Our competitors have realized the fact that our single framework of management is our killer design. That's what customers get swooned over. That's what they want from a simplicity perspective. That's what they want to break down silos in the data center. That's what they want when they want to be cloud ready. This single pane of management is the one which allows you to move those 4,700 VMs in the shortest time possible. This is the one it allows you to do when you want to do a quick DR drill. And that's the simplicity. So we put this as the center of the entire experience. And that's why we have been kicking butt against the likes of, the typical David versus Goliath battle, right? We kick the butts of the major competitors, and they are all the big ones, as you know, right? Whichever are there in the marketplace. So this is what we do, essentially. And this is what we were known for the first 10 years. And therefore, we created this segment. This HCI segment was created by us, and others followed. Others followed to see where we would reach. So if you are looking for a multi-cloud solution, on one hand, use our software, run it on any commodity hardware. You have a great equation with Lenovo, please go and buy the hardware from Lenovo. You have a great equation with HP, by all means go and buy the hardware from HP. You want it from Cisco, you want it from Dell, buy it from Dell and Cisco. And then you run our software on top of it. And that software gives you all whatever I'm promising. You want migration, you want multi-cloud tooling, you want single-click multi-cloud, you want the best control plane in the industry, you have it all from us. Is this Greek and Latin for all of you? Or is it interesting? So what we do, as I said, is that whether you are in your data center or whether you are planning to go to the clouds, we offer you that entire hybrid cloud experience. You want to move to the public cloud, by all means move. You believe that the public cloud is getting expensive for me, and this is not what our CFO factored in terms of expenses, please move it back, and we'll help you move it back. And just as a point, right, we all spoke about digital transformation, and cloud is one of the enablers for digital transformation. But your IT has to be ready for that digital transformation. When I mean ready, I'm not talking about technology. Cloud is just technology. And quite often, cloud initiatives fail. And they fail in organizations, and trust me, I worked in AWS to know why it fails. It fails because of two reasons. One is the governance and the skills to go with it sometimes are not there. And that's just coming through. You'll have another 3 years before cloud governance and cloud skills become very, very important out here. So the technology is there, the governance and the skills are not there. The second piece is, you want to use cloud, do IoT, do AI ML, do data warehousing, do all those things which your on-premise cannot do. You cannot build deep learning models out there on-premise, right? So use the cloud. Use the cloud to reap the benefits of that. All those frameworks which are there for deep learning and ML. But if you want to run your traditional compute workloads, which are running on Oracle, which are running on SQL, which are running on Postgres, if you want to run all those traditional workloads, then be prepared for a bill shock. Because when you run your own car for 5 years every day, you know your expenses. When you take a rented car and get a monthly bill, you still know that it's within control. But when you use an Uber for 5 years, it's billing by the minute. The only difference between a public cloud provider and an Uber, what is the difference? The public cloud provider gives you the keys of that Uber car. कि आपको जब बंद करना है, बंद कर लेना. आपको जब चालू करना है, चालू कर लेना. But that doesn't mean your expenses go 2x. Your expenses go 5, 6, 7x. And that's the bill shock which CFOs sometimes have. When there is a mandate to move to the cloud, and you move to the cloud, and suddenly you see that you factored in a X percentage for expenditure, and suddenly you realize that no, it's not X, it's 4X. And that's what happens, because you have not followed that move to the cloud with the governance, with the skills, with the management, with the discipline to actually run it like you run on the cloud. And that's what we prepare you for. We prepare you in the sense that you modernize your data center, take out all the inefficiencies out of a data center, be lean, be slim, and then when you want to move to the cloud, and when you want to move back or when you want to move within the clouds, between the clouds, we help you do all of that. You want to run containers, we can help you with containers. You want to run micro-segmentation, you want to isolate VMs on the network so that it gives you security, we can help you run that. You want to understand the costs of the various cloud, we can help you get there. We can actually provide you a comparison. Oh, you want to run this in AWS, this is the cost. You want to run it in GCP, this is the cost. You want to run it in Azure, this is the cost. You want to run it on premises, this is the cost. And compliance. You want PCI DSS certification, our compliance tools can help it for you. So it's not only about modernizing the data center, but it is preparing you for the cloud journey into the future. That's what we are known for. That's what we are as an organization. So if you are wanting to transition to a cloud-like infrastructure on premises with all the tools to help facilitate a hybrid cloud journey, please talk to us. We can simplify matters a lot more than what you think in your data center. We can remove layers of inefficiencies from your data center. So what do we solve for customers? From your existing IT, BAU as we call it, right? Business as usual workloads. We can help you with everything. We run the best VDIs in the world. You name any of the VDIs, we were known for VDIs. See, that was how we actually made our first few millions and the billion which we speak about. VDI was the default infrastructure which people knew us for. But then as we have transitioned on to removing a lot of the legacy IT, I think customers have realized that this is the best way to build as you grow. So you don't need to factor a 5-year, okay, this is what is going to be my load for 3 years, then I put a 30% buffer, itna hardware extra lenge, nothing of that sort. You can just build as you grow. And that's the beautiful premise of what we do. It's everything centered around what is the customer looking at? What are the pain problems? I think Rick Vera spoke about not solutions, but problems. Attack the problem. We are exactly attacking what the problem is. If you want innovation, if you want to build a platform, run it on MongoDB, by all means do it. If you want to run it on Oracle, by all means do it. If you want to run it on Postgres, by all means do it. So the openness of the platform which we have, I think that's what attracts a lot of customers, and I'll tell you how many customers we have globally in the 7 years of our journey. So you want security built in, we start with day zero security. That's why financial institutions love us. So in terms of the range of what are the workloads, you want to run Oracle business critical applications on the other side. I spoke about VDI. You want to run remote branch office. You want to run collaboration, dev test. You want to run Cloudera. You want to run Splunk. You want to run MongoDB. You can do it on us. And if you want to run a private cloud in a cost-effective manner, but in the same agility as you get on the public cloud, please come to us. We'll help you get there as well. So this is the range of solutions which we are talking about, and that's why we call it the enterprise cloud platform. And for what we do, IDC in India gives us the best position for 7 consecutive quarters. We have a 47.4% market share, 47.4% market share, which is, if you add the rest of the 4, they still are nowhere close to what we are. And I'm not even naming any of our competitors. You all know who our competitors are. And we are number 1 out here at 47.4 for HCI. Gartner rates us in the Magic Quadrant, latest November 2019, both from an ability to execute as well as a completeness of vision. So we are up there in both IDC, Gartner, Forrester, you name it, wherever we want to go to. Customers, we have a lot of global customers. Just to pop out a few Indian customers, the stock exchanges use us, the IT companies use us, the banks use us. We really have a virtual marquee rollout of customers out here, globally as well as in India. So if you want to use us, you can call us. We can help you actually improve your data center operations dramatically. Just a few partial list of customers out here in India. We have over 650 customers in India in the 3.5 years we've been here. We are here since 2016. In 3.5 years, we have 650 customers. And you can look up some of the names there. You take manufacturing as a vertical, you take banking as a vertical, retail as a vertical, hospitals, pharma, Apollo Hospital. We have the big names, ICICI Bank, all the 4 system, the IT majors use us for the private cloud. So we are there across all verticals, So we have a pharma company which uses us for industrial automation software, Wonderware. they use our platform for running that. So just to give you a sense of where we are as an organization, right? We are a $1.5 billion organization. Most importantly, why are we there and why do customers keep buying us? And as Rick Vera spoke about the customer centricity, right? I don't know how many of you know what is called as NPS. NPS is called Net Promoter Score. We have an NPS of 90, and go and look up our competitors. All of them are in the 50s, less than 50. We are double that year after year for the last 5 years on an average, which is why customers buy us. And the reason for that is reflected in just the next one, right? 97% customer retention rate. And we have a 990 customers with more than $1 million of billings with us. 990 customers, which means practically 1,000 customers. But more importantly, as we have transitioned from a hardware appliance to a software, to a subscription model, as we have disrupted the market and created new markets for ourselves, we have $975 million of deferred revenue, which means $1 billion of deferred revenue for a 7-year-old organization, and you can understand how we are doing in the market. So we have 15,000 customers worldwide, 15,000 acquired in 7 years. So we absolutely had a lot of fun, basically resetting the ideas which most CIOs have about their data centers. So we have turned 10, we've become a teenager, but we don't want to be a spoiled teenager. So we've turned 10, as I said, 2009 was when we started up. So just to give you a journey, right, we started off as that small box, right, our own appliance which we had in the data center. That's what we started off as, 10 years back. Gradually, we started getting beyond the data center into the public cloud, into the edge. As I said, we run IoT solutions, so we know that there is going to be a big distributed, edge cloud which is going to come in with all the manufacturing, with all the 5G which is going to come in, and that's where we are playing. As you start moving towards the cloud, we did it on our platform, then we did it on OEM platforms. We have 17 OEM platforms, Dell, Lenovo, HP, Cisco, you name it. They are all, our software runs on all the platforms. We have 17 certified platforms. We have started moving upwards. We have gone to GCP, we have gone to AWS, and then we are getting to Azure. On the left-hand side, if you want services from us, disaster recovery as a service, container as a service, you want files as a service, files for all the unstructured data you want as a service, we can give you all of that. So essentially, we have been able to sort of get to a situation where a customer can use us for a lot of the use cases. So we just did a cloud index, and I'll wrap it up in half a minute. We just did a cloud index study, and what comes out is that because of this issue with governance and skills and the movement of workloads to the cloud, 73% of the customers, enterprise customers, want to bring back workloads from the cloud into their data centers because they believe they have a far better way of running it efficiently in their data centers in a less costlier manner than what it is on the public cloud. So from a perspective of our offerings, our core offerings are under what we call as the HCI piece, and then we start building around it. Prism Pro is that single framework of management, which is, as we call it, the killer design. That is what people use to do a lot of migrations. You want to set up an Oracle RAC instance in 30 minutes, you can do it on the Nutanix platform. 30 minutes, Oracle RAC. And I know a lot of people who use Oracle RAC struggle for hours to get there. Maybe days. I'm just assuming hours in this case. So if you want to have backups from us, if you want to have micro-segmentation, I'm not even referring to the names of the products or offerings which we have. You want IoT, you want containers, you want database automation as a service. That is what is ERA. I'm not even speaking about it. You want to automate your Oracle instances, you want to automate provisioning, you want to automate the copy data management, we can all help you there. You want time machine, go back to a particular time in the point when you want to understand database consistencies, we can get you there. So we are not talking of HCI. We are talking of a lot of HCI plus. So we've disrupted the market. The market is now following us. And now what we are doing is we are saying we'll do hyper-convergence between clouds. So hyper-convergence in the data center, move to hyper-convergence between clouds. Absolutely Lego blocks. You don't need to take everything. You can take one piecemeal at a time, build on it as you want to go. You want us as appliances, take it as appliances. You want us as software, take it as software. You want it as subscription, you can take it as subscription. The flexibility is yours. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for hearing me. I know Rick was outstanding, and following up on that was a tough act. Thanks a lot.